The 10 most shocking and scandalous facts about David Rockefeller. David Rockefeller, the patriarch of the Rockefeller family and former chairman of Chase Manhattan Bank, was one of the most powerful and enigmatic figures of the 20th century. His life was a complex blend of immense wealth, political influence, and global connections, which inevitably attracted both admiration and controversy. Here are 10 of the most scandalous and shocking facts about David Rockefeller. Fact number 1. Privileged childhood and family connections. David Rockefeller was born on June 12, 1915, in New York City into one of the wealthiest families in America. As the youngest son of John D. Rockefeller Jr. and Abby Aldrich Rockefeller, his upbringing was one of immense privilege. The Rockefeller family's fortune was largely built by his grandfather, John D. Rockefeller Sr., who founded Standard Oil and was America's first billionaire. David grew up in a 9-story house at 10 West 54th Street, which was the largest private residence in New York City at the time. His childhood was characterized by private tutors, elite schools, and extensive travel. This upbringing not only provided him with a top-tier education from Harvard and the University of Chicago, where he earned his PhD in economics, but also cultivated a network of influential global connections. He married Margaret McGrath in 1940, and they had 6 children, continuing the family's legacy of influence in business and philanthropy. Number 2. Alleged connection with CIA operations in Chile. David Rockefeller's connections with Latin America and particularly Chile have been subjects of significant scrutiny. As the head of Chase Manhattan Bank, Rockefeller had substantial financial interests in Latin America, which were perceived to be at risk when Salvador Allende's socialist government came to power in Chile in 1970. It has been alleged that his influence and connections played a role in the CIA's covert operations to destabilize Allende's government, leading to the coup on September 11, 1973, that brought General Augusto Pinochet to power. The U.S. government, multinational corporations like ITT, and major financial institutions such as Chase, which had substantial investments in Chile, were all reportedly interested in preventing Allende from nationalizing American-owned businesses in Chile. Rockefeller was known to have close relationships with U.S. government officials who were key in planning the coup, further intensifying suspicions about his involvement. Number 3. Secret of Bilderberg meetings. David Rockefeller was also known for his involvement in the Secret of Bilderberg Group, which holds annual private conferences of approximately 120 to 150 political leaders and experts from industry, finance, academia, and the media, primarily from North America and Europe. Founded in 1954, the group's goal was to foster dialogue between Europe and North America. However, the secretive nature of these meetings has led to numerous conspiracy theories about the elite plotting global domination. Critics argue that the lack of transparency and the exclusivity of the Bilderberg meetings allow for undemocratic decision-making processes that could influence global politics and economics, thus bypassing democratic institutions and public scrutiny. Rockefeller's participation in these meetings added to his image as a power broker capable of shaping global policies behind closed doors. Number 4. Praise for Mao Zedong's China. In 1973, after a visit to China, David Rockefeller wrote an article for the New York Times titled From a China Traveler, which appeared on August 10, 1973. In it, he praised the accomplishments of Mao Zedong's regime, describing the Cultural Revolution in China as one of the most important and successful in history. This commentary has been heavily criticized due to the regime's record of severe human rights abuses, including mass executions, extensive censorship, and widespread famine during the Great Leap Forward, which collectively resulted in the deaths of millions of Chinese citizens. Critics argue that Rockefeller's positive spin on such a brutal period glossed over significant atrocities in favor of highlighting economic and social progress. Number 5. Monopolistic practices. During his leadership at Chase Manhattan Bank, David Rockefeller was often accused of monopolistic practices. Under his direction, the bank pursued aggressive global expansion, including strategic mergers and alliances that significantly increased its global influence and presence. Critics pointed to these tactics as examples of consolidating financial power to an extent that could undermine competitive markets. The bank's international strategies, especially in volatile regions, were seen as efforts to control global finance routes and resources, thereby extending corporate influence over sovereign economic policies. These actions sparked debates about the role of large financial institutions in global economics and the risks they pose to market competition. Number 6. Support for controversial figures. David Rockefeller's relationships with controversial global leaders such as the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, and Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet have also attracted significant scrutiny and criticism. Rockefeller's connections with the Shah were part of broader American economic and political interests in Iran, particularly related to oil. His link to Pinochet came into the spotlight especially after the 1973 coup in Chile that overthrew Salvador Allende, a move widely believed to have been supported by U.S. interests, including major corporations like ITT Corporation and Chase Manhattan Bank. These associations were controversial as they suggested a preference for stable business conditions over democratic processes and human rights, highlighting the complex and often contentious intersection of global business with international politics and ethics. Number 7. Elite Island Gatherings. David Rockefeller's estate on Mount Desert Island, Maine, known as Ringing Point, spanned approximately 14.5 acres. This secluded retreat served not only as a family getaway but also as a venue for high-profile gatherings involving world leaders, business magnates, and influential intellectuals. These meetings were often shrouded in privacy, enhancing Rockefeller's reputation as a behind-the-scenes influencer in global affairs. The estate's use for discreet diplomacy and strategic discussions contributed to the public and media speculation about the extent of Rockefeller's influence in shaping international policies and economic strategies. Such gatherings underscored the blend of personal wealth and public influence characteristic of Rockefeller's approach to dealing with global issues. Number 8. Philanthropy or influence peddling? David Rockefeller's philanthropic contributions were vast, with significant donations to institutions such as the Museum of Modern Art, which was co-founded by his mother, Abby Aldrich Rockefeller, and Harvard University, his alma mater. Through his support, Rockefeller gained considerable influence within these institutions, serving on boards and participating in strategic planning that often aligned with his broader interests in global finance and cultural diplomacy. Critics have argued that his philanthropy was not merely altruistic but also a tool for cultivating a network of influence that extended into public policy and academic research, shaping agendas in ways that could serve his and his associates' interests. This strategic deployment of resources raised questions about the boundary between genuine philanthropy and the pursuit of power. Number 9. David Rockefeller's Beetle Collection. David Rockefeller, a prominent figure in finance and philanthropy, also pursued an unusual hobby with significant scientific value, collecting beetles. Starting in his youth, Rockefeller developed an avid interest in entomology, which culminated in a collection of over 160,000 beetle specimens by the time of his death. His collection is notable not only for its size but also for its diversity, encompassing various species from around the globe. This extensive compilation is one of the largest private beetle collections in the world and has been recognized for its contribution to the field of entomology. Rockefeller's dedication to this hobby demonstrates a unique blend of scientific curiosity and meticulous collecting, providing a stark contrast to his public persona as a business magnate. Number 10. Circulating rumors and conspiracy theories. David Rockefeller, who lived to be 101 years old, died of congestive heart failure on March 20, 2017. His advanced age and longevity fueled numerous rumors and conspiracy theories. One of the most sensational claims about him was that he underwent multiple heart transplants, with rumors suggesting up to 6 or 7 such surgeries, stirring considerable controversy and debate over medical ethics and the power of wealth in accessing healthcare. These claims, however, lack formal medical confirmation and have often been dismissed as part of broader conspiracy theories regarding his longevity. Beyond health-related rumors, Rockefeller was also the subject of theories regarding his involvement in a secret global elite, allegedly working to establish a new world order that would govern across national boundaries. Other theories speculated that he had access to technology to clone himself, purportedly used to extend his life or influence. Additionally, rumors often depicted him as a puppet master manipulating major global events, from economic crashes to political upheavals, for personal and family gain. These theories were fueled by his known associations with influential groups like the Bilderberg Group and the Council on Foreign Relations, his secretive meetings, and his undeniable power in various spheres. These elements combined made him a frequent subject of speculation in media and public discussions, adding to the mystique and controversy surrounding his figure.